Nestled on the edge of a dense forest was a garden unlike any other. By day, it was a serene and unassuming place, filled with blooming flowers, lush greenery, and a small bubbling fountain in the center. Villagers from the nearby town often came to admire the garden's beauty, unaware of the enchantment hidden within. But at night, when the first silver streaks of moonlight touched its petals, the garden came alive. As soon as the sun dipped below the horizon, a faint shimmer began to dance over the flowers. The air filled with a soft, melodious hum, as though the earth itself was singing a lullaby. It was the signal for the transformation to begin. The roses, once still and silent, stretched their stems and whispered secrets to one another in petal-soft voices. The daisies twirled like ballerinas, spinning on their stems in perfect harmony. Vines snaked up trellises and wove themselves into intricate patterns, forming arches and gateways that hadn't been there moments before. The fountain at the heart of the garden began to glow with an ethereal light. From its shimmering waters emerged tiny, winged beings, garden sprites with translucent wings that sparkled like dew in the moonlight. They giggled and darted through the air, trailing streams of light behind them as they woke their floral friends. Among them was Leora, the guardian of the midnight garden. Her hair was a cascade of silver threads, and her eyes sparkled like starlight. She stepped onto the mossy ground, her bare feet leaving faint, glowing footprints behind. With a wave of her hand, she called forth the fireflies, who illuminated the garden like 1,000 tiny lanterns. Tonight was special. A rare celestial event known as the moon's embrace would grace the garden. Once every 100 years, the full moon aligned perfectly with the ancient oak tree at the garden's edge, awakening the oldest and wisest spirit in the grove. As the moon reached its zenith, the oak began to stir. Its branches groaned and creaked as they stretched, and its bark shimmered with golden light. From its trunk emerged Arbor, the ancient tree spirit. His deep voice resonated like the rumble of distant thunder. "Leora," he said, his gaze sweeping over the lively garden, "tonight marks a turning point. The garden's magic must be shared with the world beyond these gates." Leora tilted her head, a flicker of worry crossing her face. "But, Arbor, the garden's magic is fragile. What if it fades under the weight of the outside world?" Arbor chuckled, a sound like wind rustling through leaves. "Magic grows when it is shared. Choose wisely, and the garden's beauty will bloom in ways you cannot yet imagine." As dawn approached, Leora knew her task. She would invite a single person to witness the midnight garden, a kind soul who could carry its magic beyond the forest. She thought of the quiet girl who often visited during the day, sketching flowers in her notebook with a dreamy look in her eyes. When the garden fell back into its daytime slumber, the girl arrived as usual, her pencil in hand. But this time, something extraordinary awaited her. Nestled in the grass was a single glowing petal, pulsating faintly with light. The girl picked it up, and as she did, a voice, soft and melodious, whispered in her ear, "Return tonight, under the light of the full moon, and you will see the garden's heart." That night, as the girl stood bathed in moonlight, the midnight garden welcomed her into its wondrous world. She laughed with the daisies, danced with the sprites, and listened to the stories of the ancient oak. And when the night ended, she carried with her not just memories, but seeds imbued with the garden's magic. From that day forward, the girl traveled far and wide, planting those seeds in barren fields and lifeless soil. Wherever they grew, new midnight gardens sprang to life, bringing joy, wonder, and hope to all who beheld them. And so, the magic of the midnight garden lived on, shared with the world just as Arbor had foretold.